Welcome to the Northeast Kingdom Voice. I'm your host, Scott Wheeler. Today's guest is a frequent flyer on the show, Sharon Stewart. She is here to talk about her latest fundraiser to raise money for the Mary E. Wright Halo Foundation. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Scott, for having me again.
So your last show at the Elks, that ended up being like
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. It was a very great turnout and a lot of people, a lot of fun.
So how much did you raise?
$7,000.
Right, and this event is going to be held when? This latest event?
This new event is on Saturday, September 30th, and I'm in collaboration with Dina Gray at the East Side. She stepped up and she said, Sharon, I'll help you. I have a venue and we'll do the appetizers.
Right, and tell me a little bit, of course, I know all about the Halo Foundation, but just in case some of the listeners are not familiar with it.
The Halo Foundation, this is a group of brothers that put this together in memory of their parents who passed away from cancer. This is a local family-run foundation, and what they do is they help our friends and family members in the community that are struggling with cancer and struggling with the financial problems of cancer.
Right. And they have the help of their partners.
Yeah.
And then it's really become a community phenomenon because now people have swept in to help them.
Exactly. If you've been helped by I call this the Friends of Halo benefit because it's all about the Friends of Halo. I'm a friend of a survivor. I'm a loved one of a survivor. So this is our way of paying back. And if you ask anybody working or helping to raise money for Halo, they'll all tell you that there wasn't a time where Hillary hasn't stepped up with the foundation and helped somebody in need.
Right. And so this event's going to be at the East Side, and when's the date?
September 30th.
September.
The story behind, let me give you a little bit of info, because it's been a very, very big month for Halo, and there's a lot of benefits going on this month, which is huge. And it's so exciting to see all these different dances being held to raise money for Halo. So even the more you have, the better off we end up in the end anyways. But working together as a community, it's amazing. When we did the fundraiser in June, my friend Wendy Carter and her husband stepped up. And Wendy was such a big, huge part of this party because she was so thankful to the Halo for stepping in to help her. She was a breast cancer survivor, and she was in remission, and she felt so strong. And the minute I mentioned this, she's like, I'll help you. I'm going to help you. And by God, she worked, and she sold raffle tickets, and Mikey sold raffle tickets. And anyways, make a long story short, it was such a big success that she said to me, we're going to do this again. I said, okay, Wendy, we'll do this again. And I held promise to her. I said, okay, we'll do it. And then Wendy got sick, and inadvertently we lost Wendy a short time ago. So I stepped forward because she made me promise. And so for her, and in honor of her, and in honor of my friends that have passed, and my friends that are still living, I carried the torch, and got the band, and then I realized that I didn't have a venue because of all the parties going on.
Right.
So Dina Gray from the East Side, in her glory, was so happy to step up and help me that we put together a party dance benefit at the East Side with food, and the band Raised on Radio. Now, Raised on Radio, they are amazing dance band, lots of fun, right, and draws attention to everybody.
Right.
Brings a whole different crowd.
Right. And I know you don't like to make this about you or Mark, but cancer suddenly came into your life even a little bit closer, as in Mark has cancer,
right.
Your husband.
And so it's even closer, you're right. But at 52, in a year and a half, I've been to more funerals than I have been to weddings. And I can't tell you what a crusader or what a fighter that I've become because I feel like it's got to stop somewheres. And when it invaded my home and my family, it made me more powerful and more directed to helping people survive this. And I work very closely with the Halo Foundation because of the fact that they step in to help these families that are devastated, and cancer devastates a family.
Right. And this isn't only about the Halo Foundation, isn't only about money either. You know, whether it's the Wright brothers, their spouses or their partners,
Yeah.
or, you know, the other people involved with them. Somebody will even pile your wood.
Oh, my gosh.
They will mow your
Yeah,
lawns,
yeah.
and so it isn't only just about, because, you know, money is important, but, you know, there's the little things that you don't consider when you are battling cancer, or you have a loved one battling cancer.
Exactly. You know, every Wednesday, I dedicate every Wednesday to people with cancer. I dedicate a workout, a walk, a healthy outing, something that I can do to make their day special. And a lot of it has to do with them getting out and feeling strong. And, you know, the ill effects of chemo on a lot of people bring them down in such a sad way that any little bit that we can do for them is amazing. Even making a big pot of chicken matzo ball soup for those that are not feeling well from the chemo. That seems to be the cure lately. So I'm always cooking matzo ball soup.
Right. But on the positive side, if there's a positive with cancer, is while we think about the people that have lost their battle, there's an increasing number of people who are winning the battle,
Exactly.
or at least to some forms of cancer, it's becoming more of a chronic condition. You might never beat it,
Right.
but you're
Live with
now
it.
able
Exactly.
to live with it. So it isn't, you know, while it wasn't too many years ago, if you heard the word cancer, you pretty much knew you're getting ready to cash in your chips, and you might as well be getting ready. Well, that isn't the case anymore with a lot of forms of cancer. It's a long ride.
Cancer doesn't kill you. It's
Right.
the side effects of the chemo that kill you,
Right.
and the side effects of the drugs that they give you. So I'm such a strong believer that the stronger you go into this, the healthier you are, the better habits you have, the more able you are to fight the ill effects of the chemotherapy that you're getting. I don't believe for a minute that cancer is a death sentence anymore. I've lived with it for all my life. My mother's had it, and so I grew up with it. It should be like a second nature to me.
Right. Your mother was on here. Carol Needleman was on here with your father just a few weeks ago, and I got to say, she's a hoot.
Oh, she's a character.
And
Yeah, and that's and she is a survivor, and that's why what makes me push so hard is I watch her fight tooth and nail, and she's the first one to give back. And it's amazing the outpouring of love and friendship that these people have, and how they're so willing to help the Halo Foundation, which is why we call it the Friends of Halo. It takes me a few minutes to gather a few people, and before I know it, everybody steps up and says, what can I do? Now, I asked Scott to help me to spread the word this time about the importance of my memory wall. Okay? I believe, I've thought almost 6 months of how to do this the right way. I want to put a memory wall together for this benefit of all the people that Halo has touched, all the people in the last 10 years that they have reached, and make a memorial wall or someone that we can pay tribute to. And these people are true heroes. And so I've reached out to my community and all of you and asked for pictures so that we can build our wall, and the wall will follow the foundation.
so that's not only people who've lost their battle. That's
No, anybody. If I'm asking for anyone that Halo has reached, for you to bring me a picture so we can put it on our wall.
Right. And how should they get that to you?
Well, it's amazing because I'm getting all kinds of pictures on my phone, and being a child of the 80s, I'm not quite sure.
Right.
I can't figure out how to get them from my phone to hard copy. So what
I can tell you how to do that, but
Well, okay, so Scott
Later.
just stepped up and said he's going to have. Anyways, what I really like is a hard copy. Somebody to bring me a picture and say, this is the picture. This is not a picture. This is a ticket, but this is a hard copy.
Right.
And I'd like a picture that we can, when you come in, we can put on the wall.
Right.
That says,
And I suspect even I'm putting him on the line, the producer here. He's quite the technological wonder, Todd Pronto. He could probably even print them off for you.
Todd Pronto probably could, although I haven't got
And
a
as
picture.
you know, Todd is also very active in this.
Of course,
this
he's going to be
movement.
part of our dance benefit as well as Devaney. And the secret, we have a secret MC coming. Tim Kavanaugh is going to come and join us if he's feeling better because he's going back through his next round of.
I think right now, as we speak.
Yep, so our prayers are with Timmy today. And the first thing he did when he came through Newport last week is to stop and see me. And I said, Tim, you have a grand seat at this affair, so you get strong and come and visit us.
So, sorry, if people don't have print, all right, first of all, what is your email?
Sharon Needleman Stewart at Hotmail.
Right, and how can somebody mail hard copies to you?
You can mail hard copies to Sharon Stewart, P.O. Box 1007, Newport, Vermont, or you can drop off your hard copy at the East Side or Pie and Pasta.
Right.
And you can get your tickets for the benefit at the East Side or Pie and Pasta.
Right. And you can also, if it'll help you, you can drop them off here at the studio, which is Northeast Kingdom TV.
Next to Cumberland Farms.
Next to Cumberland Farms, and just give them to Todd Pronto.
Right.
So, Raised on Radio, what kind of music do they play?
Oh my gosh, I think they are the best band. They're fun, they're energetic, they're always entertaining, and I think they play a mixture of everything. I think that they've grown to play everything from Bon Jovi down, maybe earlier.
Now, are you going to take to the stage and
Always,
sing?
no. No. I might sing if I've asked, but I do it because I like to dance. Like, for example, I used to run Workout for Hope. I had an exercise class every Saturday, and every Saturday I donate all the money to the Halo Foundation. And then my daughter said to me, Mom, you need to start having more parties because people like to party and dance, and they don't really like to exercise. So for me, it was a lot easier to hold a dance benefit than it was for me to give away a free exercise class.
Dancing is also exercise.
Dancing is exercise, yep.
Right.
That's the original aerobics.
You know the one thing, back to the Halo Foundation, I think the one thing that people really like about the Halo Foundation is they like to know that their money is being well spent. Because if you donate your money to many organizations, whether it's, well, I won't name any, you don't really know how it's being spent. Right. And a lot of times the money isn't actually being spent here. And with the Halo Foundation, your money, I believe it still stays within Orleans County.
Yeah.
And it goes to Orleans County residents. So you know that the money is staying here.
For example, Scott, like I'm throwing this out to you. It takes me 10 minutes to get my message to Hillary. I send a message, Hillary, can you please help out so-and-so? This is their address. They have cancer, they're in need of oil, or they're behind on their bills. And it doesn't take 10 minutes for Hillary to get a check, and the next day or the next 2 days, that person has that money.
Right.
I don't ever get questions. I don't have to jump through hoops. I put the word in, and those people, they're almost like angels. That's all I can tell you is that it takes me 10 minutes to get a hold of Hillary. Hillary, this person needs help. Can we help them? Boom.
And just you've mentioned Hillary a few times, so we'll put a last name, Hillary Wright.
Hillary Wright.
Who is married to Todd Wright.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I know we've had members of our family who've benefited from the Halo Foundation, and you're right. Sometimes, like, we had one relative who didn't even know how, they just check arrived.
Yeah, that's it. Somebody asked me the other day, and I'm like, were you responsible for that check, Sharon? I'm like, no, but I'm so happy it got to you. Right. I'd love to take responsibility for it, but I'm not, and that's how they operate. They're like angels.
Right.
When you least expect it, there's a check that comes.
Sometimes I do know we do have more cancer than in the past, but I also think we also hear more about it because we're so connected now.
Yeah.
And with social media, we know people when we see more people getting cancer, I believe, in part because of social media, because people post it or people post events. But there's no doubt we have more cancer than we did in the past.
Yeah, we unfortunately, it seems like every time you turn around, and in this area, it doesn't seem to be a happy medium. It's either you don't have cancer or you're at stage 4. Do you see what I mean? There's no early detection. Why? It's not that we're early detection. We preach early detection, but it seems that by the time people find out that they're sick, they're already past the...
Right. I wonder how much that is, whether we're stubborn and don't go to the doctors, or the quality of medical care, or maybe it's both. Because, and I think, like, I know your father made you proud, probably preaching the importance, especially to us knot-headed men, about early detection, because I do believe women are far better at understanding that importance than men. Men, we're just invincible. Like, I'm the classic case. If I weren't married, if I was a single guy, I probably wouldn't be going to the doctors. My wife will say, hey, yours been up. It's time to go. Nah, I don't. Yeah, you do. And so I go every year. So I'm hoping that if I do get something, it's, early detection is not going to necessarily save your life, but it gives you...
And you don't smoke, and you eat well, and you exercise.
Yes.
So you've hit all the major components.
Right. Well, yeah, and as you know, you brought me into this kicking and screaming.
That's right.
And then it's bled off to Penny. It's and everybody, and I'm proof that you can, if you want to get in shape, and you don't have, here's the deal is about fitness and wellness. You don't have to go to the extreme.
No.
You don't have to deprive yourself.
Nope.
And some people say, yeah, but you can live a healthy life and you can still get cancer. Darn right you can. But on the other hand you're preparing yourself if you do get cancer.
You're going to survive it a lot better.
And you feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Like I feel super. Every once in a while, I'm shocked when I watch my show or I see a photo and I'm looking at this bald, middle-aged guy sitting where I was sitting, and I realized, damn, you're getting old.
With my husband, for example, he was stage 4 by the time that he got his diagnosis. And every day, everyone looks at him, and he looks amazing. But you know something? He went into this strong. He doesn't smoke. He quit drinking back in August when they thought it was ulcers. And he takes exercises every day. Does that make him feel better? Yes. Does that make him stronger to be able to fight that cancer? Who knows? Maybe it's the cancer treatment he's getting, but he thanks God every day that he doesn't have the ill effects of the chemo.
Right. And, the fact is then once you get cancer, or you even had it, I've talked to a lot of people, you have to learn to a degree on how to live with the fact that you look at Wendy. Yeah. Wendy Carter was feeling super.
Yep.
And then she started getting, she was celebrating going into remission.
Oh my God, you're remission.
And then
cured.
Bang, just a few days later, as in she started, I believe, getting headaches, and then a few days later, boom, it's over with. And which, in a sense, was rather merciful that if she had to pass, it didn't.
Well, I didn't know about that, but in the long run, maybe. You don't want somebody to suffer alone.
Right. And
but it's funny because Mark, somebody stopped my husband, and of course everyone is like, "Oh my God, he looks awesome." Because he does. He looks healthier than he did. But he looked at me and he goes, "People say to me, you look amazing. You must feel amazing." And he goes, "I want to say to them, I still feel like I have cancer." I mean, even in his mind, he still has that hanging on to his head. It plays such a weight in somebody, even though you're strong and you're healthy. It's that thought that, oh my God, I have this monster.
Right. But on the flip side, I think, and I've never had cancer, but I've had many people in my life who has, and the one thing cancer does, as with any potentially terminal illness, it makes you take stock in what you have.
Exactly.
And what is truly important.
Yeah.
So there's that could partly be what they're seeing. Well, he has the weight of the world when it comes to cancer on him. He probably also has, his eyes have been opened to say, hey, you know what? is I'm just lucky to be here.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether we have cancer or not, I think especially as we age, now that we're over that 50 hump, you know what? I think you take a different look at
You
life.
do. You know what? Like my mother said when what did she say? She's done. She retired. You can't take it with you. She went out. She had, her last cancer was her lung cancer, and she said, "I'm all done working, all done." We can't say that because we just can't stop working. But I'll tell you what it is. It's when you get up every morning and you go for a walk with your wife and you take and enjoy every minute of that God gives you. That's the most important thing. And you don't wait for tomorrow.
Right, and
you live for today.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that you go out and spend money you don't have.
Well,
but it means you just go out and, you know, you enjoy, because you know what, true happiness isn't found in money, as
No,
you know.
no.
It's seeing that sunrise, it's seeing your kids, and I know you, no, actually Mark does have grandchildren.
Yeah.
And
He's got 4.
right, and so the thing is that's really what's important. When you're younger, you might understand that, but I don't think until you get in your shoes with a potentially terminal disease or just aging, you don't really
You know, we gave Mark, we had a birthday party for Mark, and it was our 25th anniversary, but when we had all the children together for one picture, that was the highlight of his summer. He actually had all his kids and his mother under one roof. That's a hard task for most people to get that many kids and that many people all together to celebrate. And so that's why I love this dance benefit, because I hope to bring all the community together, and people we haven't seen and people we need to see. And it's such a nice way to celebrate instead of a tragic way.
Right. All right. Again, the date of that and where is it? And
We're
time?
Saturday, September 30th at 7 p.m. at the East Side. We have 160 tickets to sell because the venue's a little bit smaller, so that's 80 couples. I will have some at the door, but I don't know the availability because hopefully people will be buying tickets now, like from now in the next 2 weeks.
Right. You know,
And if you don't, the biggest part, if you buy a ticket now and you don't go, you can be entered in a drawing. And the drawing, thank you to Steve Wright and Jay Peak, is we get an overnight at Jay Peak in the hotel and a water park package.
You know, the one thing about these events, it really does bring the best out in the community. It's like, you know, I think too, people need to remember there's a lot of local homegrown businesses, such as Hillary and Todd, who own Pie and Pasta, and Dina, who owns the East Side. They all, you know, I think that's why we should, you know, I know they don't do this to raise money, but I think for themselves, but I think that's why supporting local is so important.
Always, always. You always have to support your local, because if they're the ones that support us, when we hold these benefits, who are we going to count on, right?
Right. Now, and I know you always say this isn't about you. This is about you have everybody come forward and they help you. Do you have any words to say about all the people that help make these things possible?
I can't do it without them. I value everybody's help. I watch these people come out of nowhere and say, "How can I help you, Sharon?" Everybody wants to be able to make a difference, and not even make a difference, but to give back, or to make sure that we keep funding the Halo Foundation, because the more we raise for them, the more they give out. It's not even that. Sometimes they give out way more than we can even bring in.
Right. And you know, as I told you, and I even forwarded you Wendy's message, just right after Mark was diagnosed with cancer, Wendy, because I grew up with Wendy's husband, Mike, she emailed me and said, because I had posted after you gave me permission. She said, "What can we do for you guys?" And here this woman is, at that time, had just, you know, beaten cancer, at least been into remission. And so she, you know, so people, you are there for the people, and people help you out.
Exactly.
But then when cancer struck your family, they were there for you.
Right. I have such wonderful support right now with a lot of these girls are battling breast cancer, and in between their chemos, they're stepping up and they're collecting raffle prizes and helping to move tickets, and they're just grateful that somebody wanted to spearhead and lead this project. And like I said, this month is full, and we have another big fundraiser coming up, the scavenger hunt, which I always look forward to, and that's where people get their revenge on me, because I usually get to be the person doing the.
This is where they go around.
They go around to people, and each location has somebody doing something like giving out Jello shots, or with the scavenger hunt sends you to Sharon, Stewart at the high school in the pouring rain, and we do burpees, or it's very fun and a lot.
You know what happened to me one year? Nobody told me about it. I was one of the people that you had to have your photo taken with me. Suddenly, I thought I was a chick magnet. And I said, suddenly, I had all these young women come into my door. Hey, I got to have my picture taken. So I had, and it's like, hey, this is good.
When I had one year, they said, steal your friend. Literally, you had to go steal a friend and bring him in. I was in a movie theater, and I think it was Paula Brennan that came and said to me, I need to steal you. You have to come with me. And they had to bring me back to the location. It's a lot of fun, and look forward to that. I think that's upcoming. That's another big event that the Halo Foundation puts on.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, too, about what you do and what so many other people are doing for the Halo Foundation. It's to raise money, but you also get something else back. You get a good time, because most of the events are a good time. It's not just here, we want your money.
This is a way of bringing a community together. You can't find a better way to bring on a happy occasion, to have a great band, lots of excitement. I guess there's some games. I left the games up to these women, this group of people helping me, because we decided we weren't going to do a silent auction, right? Mm-hmm. Instead, we were going to have a fun night, like a game night, and maybe a Trivial Pursuit. And then, so in between that, there'll be raffle tickets and 50-50. But I felt as if our community is always being hit to donate these large ticket items.
True story.
And I said, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to make a party. I like people to come to my party. I'd like to see everybody enjoy it and let them decide, how to help.
If you decide to have a trivia night, I know somebody who is really good at making Vermont and Northeast Kingdom trivia, because I've done it before.
You can have that whole section of the night.
People really, when I used to do that for occasionally for pie and pasta, people used to love their trivia night.
You know what? That's a whole section, Scott, and it's all yours. So now, if you come on Saturday night on September 30th, you'll be able to play Trivial Pursuit with Scott. I wanted to come up with, what's that, beer pong? But I don't think that's legal.
Nah, probably not. All right, your final words.
See you on Saturday, September 30th at the East Side at 7 o'clock. You need tickets? Find me. You need tickets? Find me. If you have pictures, please bring the pictures in so we can have a beautiful wall.
Okay, email. Your email.
Sharon Needleman Stewart at Hotmail.
And if they want to bring photos,
you can bring a photo that night, and we'll put it right on the board. You walk into the East Side, you give your ticket, you put your picture on the wall. This will be an ongoing wall, a wall forever.
Right.
The wall will just get bigger.
Well, no, actually, we don't want it to get bigger.
No, I don't want it to get bigger. I'd like to make it smaller.
Right.
And the tickets are available at the East Side or at Pie and Pasta.
Okay, well, thank you for coming on, and thank you for doing all you do.
Thank you, Scott, for having me again. I appreciate it.
Right. And I'm sure you'll be back on once again.
Soon. Very soon.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you to the viewers for tuning in to another segment of the Northeast Kingdom Voice.